Hi, I'm Andrew Simpson with Ether Automation, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a comment in Zoho Desk whenever you submit something in a form in Zoho Creator. Now, if you see my last video, I showed you how to populate a drop-down field with some information in Zoho Desk, and in this one, we're going to use that to create the comment in Zoho Desk. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully this is the right screen, otherwise it'll be a short video. Okay, so I'm in Zoho Creator right now. And if you remember the last video, I had this, I created this form and submitted this, we'll say comment on a ticket. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to create a new function. And what that function is going to do is update that ticket that we selected. So let's start by going to workflow. I'm going to create it in a new tab. Let's create a function and we'll call this one add comment. Namespace will be default. The return type will be void because we don't need to return anything. And finally, the argument will be ID input, and this will be an integer. Cool. So now we want to create some architecture. So let's start by get the creator record, right? Then once we do that, we want to get the desk ticket ID. Then we want to assemble the JSON to create a ticket. And then finally, we want to create the ticket. Okay, so let's do this one first. So first we want to get the creator record. So we'll call this creator record equals desk ticket, which that's the name of our form. ID equals ID input, right? Which means the comment is on that creator record equals creator record dot, it's that multi-line one, right? So now we get the creator record, we have the comment on the creator record. Now let's get the desk ticket ID. So desk ticket ID equals the creator record dot ticket field dot to list. And why are we doing this as to list? Well, if you remember, there's this space dash space that we put in. That was deliberate. We want to put that in here, space dash space, and we want to get the second one. But because we count in computer science starting at 0, we put in 1. So that's the second one. So that's the desk ticket ID. Now we want to assemble the JSON to create the ticket. So the question is, what does this JSON look like? Well, let's start out by just going comment map equals map. So now we have a JSON, but what does that JSON look like? If we look at the API documentation in Zoho Desk, I'm on the list all tickets, but I could go down to ticket comments, create a ticket comment, and this is what it looks like. So looking at the documentation, it says they're all optional, but it's kind of hard to do an optional content. So for this one, we're going to do content and we're going to add content type. All right. So first we want to do is comment map dot put content. And we're going to put the comment there. All right. The second thing we want to do is the comment map. Put, and that's the content type. Now, don't confuse this with the content type from the headers, and we'll do that in a second. Content type, comma, plain text. Now we want to make the header map. Header map equals map. Header map dot put. And if you remember from our previous video, there was the org ID. Org ID, and that is equal to this. If you want to know how to find that org ID, you're going to need to watch the previous video. And then we also want to do the content type here. Content dash type, comma, application slash JSON. If you don't know what that means, I have another video about doing API calls. Okay. So now we want to create the ticket. How do we create the ticket? Well, there is a post request we do with this information. So let's copy this, go back to here, and we're going to create a ticket. Invoke URL right here. Comment response. The URL string is this. It is a post. We're going to use the desk connection from our previous video. And I'm going to do this and this to save the space. So let's start by, this here is the ticket ID. Now, if you remember from earlier, we have the ticket ID, which is right here. So desk ticket ID, paste, let's go plus there. It's a post. The parameter we want to do is this content map one. And I have another video that describes the thing I'm about to show you, but we also want to add a toString for various reasons. Now we want to add the headers and save. At 28, here we go. Okay, so now that we have this function, what do we want to do? Well, we have this void add comment, and it requires the ID. So I'm going to click done, and I'm going to go to form rules, and I'm going to make a new form rule, and this is on creator edit of desk ticket, and we want to do this successful form submission update desk ticket. So add new action, and that is a Deluge script. And I'm going to go to functions and click add a comment. But then it requires an integer. So I'm going to go put input dot ID. Save. Great. So now when I go and run this function, right? So I'm going to click this ticket. Here is a desk comment. If I click submit, it says it's been added successfully. Now, when I go to my ticket, it says there immediately, here is a desk comment. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to have this comment also add a time entry. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.